Okay, so we are going to read Taming of the Shrew, Act 4, Scene 2. Now, in this scene, we're back in Padua, and we are with Hortensio, who's dressed up as Lydio, and he leads Tranio, who is, of course, playing Lucentio, to spy on Bianca and Lucentio, who's dressed up like Cambio, the schoolmaster. And as they're like kissing and talking, and Hortensio's like, I'm not even Lydio. I'm a suitor, but I am not going to be with a woman who's going to make out with schoolmasters. So Hortensio says he's going to leave and go talk to Petruchio because he knows how to control some women. And he's also going to marry a wealthy widow instead of trying to marry Bianca. So Hortensio is kind of taking himself out of the race for Bianca. Also in the scene, we will see Biondello. Biondello is going to find a merchant who can impersonate Lucentio's dad. So he can have the dad agree to, give him money, give Baptista money for Bianca's hand. Okay, so all of that is happening. So we are in scene 2, back in Padua with Tranio, who's acting like he's Lucentio, and Hortensio, who's acting like he's the schoolmaster, the music teacher, Lydio. This may have a lot of music right now. I don't know why, but it has music in random places.
Is it possible, Felicio, that Mistress Bianca doesn't fancy any other but Lucentio? I tell you, sir, she bears me fair in hand. Sir, to satisfy you in what I have said, stand by and mark the manner of Cambio's teaching.
Now, mistress, profit you in what you read.
What master read you? First resolve me that.
I read that I profess the art of love.
And may you prove, sir, master of your art.
While you, sweet dear, prove mistress of my heart.
And they start kissing.
Marry now, tell me, I pray, you that durst swear that your mistress Bianca loved none in the world so well as Lucentio. Oh, despiteful love, constant womankind. I tell thee, Licio, this is wonderful. Mistake no more. I am not Licio, nor a musician as I seem to be, but one that scorned to live in this disguise. For such a one as leaves a gentleman and makes a god of such a cullion. No, sir, but I am called Hortensio. Signor Hortensio? I have often heard of your entire affection to Bianca, and since mine eyes are witness of her likeness, I will with you, if you be so contented, forswear Bianca and her love forever. See how they kiss and court. Signor Lucentio, here is my hand, and here I firmly vow never to woo her more, but to forswear her as one unworthy all the former favours that I have fondly flattered her withal. And here I take the like unfeigned oath, never to marry with her, though she would entreat. Oh, fie on her! See how beastly she doth call him. Would all the world but he had quite forsworn. For me, that I may surely keep mine oath, I will be married to a wealthy widow ere 3 days pass, which hath as long loved me as I have loved this proud, disdainful haggard. And so farewell, Signor Lucentio. Kindness in women, not their beauteous looks, shall win my love, and so I take my leave in resolution as I swore before.
Okay, so Hortensio, again dressed up like Lydio, the music teacher, he thinks he's talking to Lucentio. Remember, Tranio, Lucentio's servant, is dressed up like him. So shows Tranio that Bianca's making out with the schoolmaster guy. That's terrible, which makes her seem a woman of very loose morals. That would be bad, okay? And so Tranio is like, oh, this is terrible, and I swear I won't be offering for her hand. Yeah, Tranio won't be, so perfect. Hortensio is like, yeah, me either. It turns out, Hortensio tells us there's this wealthy widow who's basically had the hots for him for a bit. She has been, kind of, making sweet eyes at him for a bit. He says, after today, he knows kindness in women, not their beauteous looks, shall win his love. So evidently this widow is kind, but she's not as beautiful as Bianca is. Bianca is incredibly beautiful. The widow, and it may be that it's not that the widow is like a troll or anything, but she's just, first of all, she's a widow, so she's been married before. Back in this era, it's kind of a big deal if you can get a girl who's unmarried versus a girl who's been married previously. So Hortensio's like, yep, I'm going to hang out with, I'm going to go ahead and marry in 3 days this widow who's been interested in me for a while. Okay, now let's see.
Mistress Bianca, bless you with such grace as longeth to a lover's blessed case. Nay, I've ta'en you napping, gentle love, and have forsworn you with Hortensio.
Tranio, you jest. But have you both forsworn me?
Mistress, we have.
Then we are rid of Lucio.
I' faith, he'll have a lusty widow now that shall be wooed and wedded in a day.
God give him joy.
Aye, and he'll tame her.
He says so, Tranio.
Faith, he's gone unto the taming school.
Taming school? What, is there such a place?
Aye, mistress, and Petruchio is the master that teacheth tricks 11 and 20 long to tame a shrew and charm her chattering tongue.
Okay, so Tranio tells Bianca and Lucentio what just happened. They think this is great. Of course, these two are interested in each other. They want to be together. They don't care about. She doesn't want extra suitors. She just wants to be with Lucentio, real Lucentio, and she already knows that Tranio is pretending to be him to kind of keep his name in the race for the wedding. So, and then Tranio says, oh yeah, he's going to taming school to learn how to tame women. And Bianca's like, is there such a place? Well, turns out it's your brother-in-law. He tames shrews. So, interesting. Okay, now Biondello, who is the younger servant, he comes in with information.
Oh, Master, I have watched so long that I am dog weary. But at last I spied an ancient angel coming down the hill will serve the turn.
What is he, Biondello?
Master, a mercantile or a pedant, I know not what, but formal in apparel, in gait and countenance surely like a father.
And what of him, Tranio?
If he be credulous, and trust me tale, I'll make him glad to see him, Vincentio, and give assurance to Baptista Minola as if he were the right Vincentio. Take in your love, and then let me alone.
Okay, so Biondello's been on the lookout for a guy who can pretend to be his fake father. Tranio is a fake Lucentio. He needs to find a fake Vincentio, Lucentio's dad. So he's looking for somebody to play the part. Biondello has found a merchant who's about the right age, seems to have about the right stuff. He looks like a wealthy gentleman of middle age. So he'll be perfect. So Tranio's like, I've got an idea. Musical interlude. Great.
God save you, sir. And you, sir. You are welcome. Travel you far, or are you at the farthest?
Oh, sir, at the farthest for a week or two, and then up farther, and as far as Rome, and so to Tripoli if God lend me life.
What countryman, I pray?
Of Mantua.
Of Mantua, sir? Marry, God forbid. And come to Padua, careless of your life?
My life, sir? How I pray for that goes hard.
'Tis death for anyone in Mantua to come to Padua.
Oh.
No, you're not the cause. Your ships are stayed at Venice, and the Duke, for private quarrel twixt your Duke and him, had published and proclaimed it openly.
Oh.
'Tis marvel, but that you were newly come, you might have heard it else proclaimed about.
Alas, sir, it is worse for me than so, for I have bills for money by exchange from Florence, and must here deliver them.
Well,
Okay, so Tranio has part of his scheme. First of all, he found out where the guy was from. The guy is from Mantua. And so as soon as he says, and he could have inserted any city in Italy. He could have said Verona. He could have said Rome. He could have said, Florence. He could have said any Italian city. But as soon as the merchant says Mantua, Tranio's like, Mantua? Oh my gosh, you're so brave. Why are you here? Oh no. And then the guy's like, what? I don't understand. Well, there's this problem between Padua and Mantua. And the Duke of Padua has said he'll kill anybody from Mantua who shows up here. And here you are from Mantua. What are we going to do? And the merchant's like, oh my gosh, because I've got stuff I need to sell in town. What am I going to do? Because I need to sell my goods.
Oh, sir, to do you courtesy,
To help
this
you.
will I do, and thus I will advise you. Yeah, first, tell me, have you ever been at Pisa?
Ah, sir, in Pisa have I often been. Pisa renowned for grave citizens.
Among them know you one Vincentio?
I know him not, but I have heard of him, a merchant of incomparable wealth.
He is my father, sir. And sooth to say, in countenance, somewhat doth resemble you.
As much as an apple doth an oyster, but all one.
Just say,
Okay, so he's telling him, like, here, to help you out, I've got an idea. First of all, have you ever been to Pisa? And the guy's like, yeah. Well, do you know Vincentio? And he's like, I don't know him, but I've heard of him. He's an honorable man. I know about him. And Tranio says, well, he's my father, and actually, you look a little bit like him. Now, Biondello at this point says, yeah, you look as much like him as an apple doth an oyster, and all one. So evidently the merchant looks literally nothing like this. But what does this merchant know about how Vincentio actually looks? So that's all funny.
Live your life in this extremity. This favour will I do you for his sake, and think it not the worst of all your fortunes that you are like to Sir Vincentio. His name and credit shall you undertake, and in my house you shall be friendly lodged. Look that you take upon you as you should. You understand me, sir?
Oh,
So shall you stay till you have done your business in the city. If this be courtesy, sir, accept of it.
oh, sir, I do, and will repute you ever the patron of my life and liberty.
Then go with me to make the matter good. This, by the way, I'll let you understand. My father is here looked for every day to pass assurance of a dower in marriage twixt me and one Baptista's daughter here. In all these circumstances, I'll instruct you. Go with me to clothe you as becomes you.
So he tells him, you can, since you do look like my dad a little bit, you can just act like you're my dad. You can stay at my place while you're in the city, get your work done. Oh, and by the way, there's this little thing that while you're in the city, I'm offering for a girl's hand, and they need my father to sign off that, we have the money and stuff. And, well, he's not here right now, but you're here, so maybe you could sign off for me. That would be great. And the merchant's like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're saving my life. So heck yes. Okay, and that is the end of scene 2 of Act 4.